Hey everybody, welcome to Mary Walter Radio, the live cast. How are you? It's good to see everybody. All right, so I'm going to give you a choice. All right, we're going to have a choice about backgrounds. Great guest tonight. I'm so excited about this guest, and wait till you hear how we met. It's hilarious. So welcome to the live cast. You know what to do. If you are on Rumble, please rumble. If you are on YouTube, leave your comments. Getter as well. You know, I can get your questions off Getter. We get a lot of viewers on Getter, and you guys never ask any questions or leave any comments, but I can multitask and get to those comments since they do not cross over to the live stream. I don't know why. Getter's weird. So it doesn't cross over. Please subscribe if you have not done so. Please like, just take the time, give a thumbs up. It costs you nothing. It's free. And it makes my algorithm super happy if you do that. And of course, happy St. Patrick's Day. This is green. I know it doesn't look green, but it is green. So it's the only green sweater I own. So I just grabbed myself. That was really weird. But this is the only green sweater that I own. So that's that. So please, like I said, please like, and please subscribe. We will get to all your comments. We're going to try to keep it a little fast paced tonight because sometimes we get bogged down. So I'm not going to put all the comments up on the screen, especially if you guys are like going back and forth with each other. So if it's addressed to the guest, then I'll definitely try to get to it. But we fall behind, and sometimes we're a half hour behind in comments and stuff and questions. So I'm going to try to keep it a little bit more fast paced today. All right. By the way, last week's podcast became the most watched podcast on YouTube. Not for YouTube, for me, for us, not like of all of YouTube, but for my most watched podcast. And I think that's because you guys asked great questions and you really interacted phenomenally, and I love you. So I thank you for that. Programming notes. Okay. Thursday, I'm in for David Webb on Sirius Patriot Channel 125 from 9 a.m. to noon. And then I am on the afternoon show on WPHT from 3 to 7. So all my WPHT peeps, I will be on Thursday, and then I'll be back on Friday as well. No more TV since yesterday. I did 6 hits on Newsmax yesterday. It was just Newsmax Palooza yesterday for me. Went into the city because it was such a beautiful day to travel. So I was in Manhattan and just did 2 shows and did 6 hits, and but I got to see everyone. It was nice. So I don't know if I have any other Newsmax TV coming up this week. Next Tuesday, between 5 and 6, I'm on the Todd Starnes show on N2, which is Newsmax 2. If you don't have it on your subscribe, if you don't carry it, your carrier doesn't have it, you can get it on YouTube. Just go type in Newsmax 2 and it comes up as Newsmax 2 Live, and you can watch for free. And I'm always on every week with Kate Smith Hill. She is on there with me. We have a lot of fun with Todd. And then of course the podcast. So I'll let you guys pick out the background, and we could do it with my guest here because he's a lot of fun. Welcome everybody. This is Dave Fisher. Say hi, Dave.
Hey. Hey, I wore my green too.
Yeah, see, he's got green on. His wife Heather, of course, dressed him appropriately.
That's right.
All right. So he and his wife own Wild Hearts Farm in North Carolina. They have 17 acres there, and I put it in the description. You can follow them it's just Wild Hearts with an S Farm on YouTube. They have a lot of shorts that are very funny, and Heather likes chandeliers even in the barn, which is hilarious. And Dave's quite handy. He builds everything. And on Instagram, it's wild_hearts_farm, not farms, a farm. All right. You can follow them on Instagram as well. So follow them, subscribe, give them some love, show them some love. So, all right, everybody, let me know, do we want this background? Now, when I had it today on Newsmax, with Todd Starnes, he said that it looked like Barack Obama's presidential photo where he's in front of the hedge. And Dave, what did you say?
I said it looked like that Simpsons episode where Homer kind of backs up into the shrubs and disappears.
Exactly. So let's go here, and I have another one if we like this one better. So hold on. Here.
I can't change my background.
There you go. And I have like a little leprechaun if we like the leprechaun better. So everybody, what do you think, Jay? What's your vote?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm kind of digging the leprechaun.
All right,
Yeah.
all right, that's cool. We can go with the leprechaun. If everybody hates it, that we can change.
Blame me.
So are you standing or sitting right now?
I'm standing. I have one of those desks that kind of goes up and down, and
Okay.
I'm an active.
Yes, you are.
I'm someone who kind of moves around. If I could pace, I'd probably pace right now, but then I'd be out of camera, and that'd be kind of awkward. So, but I'll stand.
Oh, you never stop moving. You're one of those. You're like a shark.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let me tell everybody how we met. The IT department, they call my husband the IT department because whenever there's a problem, the IT guy shows up and he'll come down. He'll come down and say hello to you. And he'll say hello to Art, who is already here. And Art is determined to make my husband his best friend. So, So we're staying at the same place. We're staying at the same place right on the mountain in Montana. Great location. My husband and I had not stayed there. We've stayed in other different places around the mountain, but we're like, all right, we'll stay here this time. So we did. And they have a big heated pool, and then they have like a hot tub, and you could put like 10 people in there somewhat comfortably.
Yeah, somewhat comfortably. A little close, but yeah. 10.
Yeah, sit on the stairs, right? So we got there on Saturday. You guys got there on what, Wednesday, Tuesday?
Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
So hubby and I are sitting in the hot tub, and we try to go out there almost every night to just to relax, and because we didn't ski every day, and hubby was taking the wilderness medicine course, so he was doing some studying and stuff, and he likes to act like that's a big deal, and we had beautiful weather. We pretty much had great weather the whole time we were there. So, and we met a lot of different people. You get to know the people who come out every night to the hot tub and with their drinks and everything. And then Wednesday evening was the first time we met you guys. I think it was Wednesday evening. Wednesday or Thursday? I don't remember.
Thursday. Yeah.
Thursday. Okay.
We got in late Wednesday, so it was we skied Thursday and got in. Yeah. Hot tub Thursday.
So Dave and his beautiful wife Heather, and by the way, these are, when you go to their Instagram page or their YouTube page, they're like a Farmers Weekly cover models, right? Like it's amazing. Like they're made for each other. I'll tell you that. Like if you want to talk about an equally matched set, woohoo! So gorgeous. So anyway, so we start talking, and you could get the vibe that we were on the same page politically, as opposed to everyone else who was there.
Yeah.
And hubby had his MAGA hat, and I'm like, do not wear it to the hot tub. Do not. Like, so that thing never left the room, which is weird because usually when we first started going out there, everybody was on the same page. Now you get all the Californians, and there was that couple from Brooklyn that was there, the older couple. And I was surprised even the South Carolina crew were not on our page because I forget what the question was about something. Oh, this president's, you weren't there. So the State of the Union, it was Tuesday. So it was Wednesday night. They asked, they're like, oh, so, what did you think? And I don't know, it came up somehow in conversation. I did not bring it up because I knew it was a minefield. And so everybody's like, oh, I stayed in. I had said I stayed in Tuesday night, and they're like, oh, why? I said, well, I wanted to watch. I did bring it up. I wanted to watch the presidents. I just wanted to watch the State of the Union. What did you think? And I said, and this is the South Carolina crowd and the Brooklyn crowd. And the Brooklyn one was like, that one. I was like, oh, saw that coming. And she goes, well, what did you think of it? I said, I thought it was interesting. Well, what do you mean you thought? Well, what did you think? I said, I thought it was interesting. And that's all I gave them was it. And did you notice they did not come in the hot tub with us on Thursday? Just saying.
Even though that was a very diplomatic answer, I will say.
Right? That was very good.
Yeah.
So I can tell everybody, this is the first guest I've ever had on that I met in a hot tub. Okay.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it too. It was great to meet you all. We looked forward to seeing you all at the hot tub every night. We were insane, I hope Mary and Doug are out there so we can talk, but nobody else either, so we can actually talk openly,
Yeah, it was hard. It was rough. We left Saturday morning, so we were out there Thursday, Friday. That was it. And that's when we saw you guys, and that was it. Like the big conversation, you could tell when it was uncomfortable, was just about, so what restaurant are you going to tonight?
That's right.
That was the big conversation. That's the big conversation.
Great.
So, all right, Let's see who's here. All right, Ranger's here. Survivor's here. Patrick is Scott's here. Watching Your Back is here. Mango Mush is here out of Philly. Star Driver Todd is here. Yes, I will be on the David Webb show on Thursday morning. Mango Bush, Mary coming back to 12:10. Yeah, 2 days. Thursday, Friday. I will be there from 3 to 6. They changed the time of the show. Art, God save the Queen. Thank y'all. Ranger Sewer says, in what town in North Carolina is your farm? I don't know if you want to say. It's up to you.
It's just outside of Wilmington, North Carolina, right on the coast.
Okay, nice. Kate is here from Ireland. So, Kate, happy St. Patrick's Day. Art likes the Irish midget background, so he likes that. Todd says, hi, Farmer Dave from a former farm kid. Let's see. Oh, here you go. Greg, I've seen some of your content, Mr. Fisher. You've planted many crops. What do you folks do with all the food?
Consume a lot of it ourselves and love to, give it to our friends and family.
Do you have kids?
We do not.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I thought, yeah. Oh, you have lots of animals. Let's see. Hi, all. This is Ron. Odd. Everyone seems to be on the over/under rather than side by side on. I don't understand that, Ron. I'm sorry. Cindy says the leprechaun looks like your Irish angel giving you directions or getting ready to give me a big hug. See, big hug. Oh. All right. Sal is here. Sal, he wants to know if the IT guy wore his MAGA Speedo to the hot tub. That would look way better on Dave than on the IT guy, okay? Here, a hot tub live cast. That would have been funny. That would have been very funny.
Mountain in the background. Great.
Yeah. Rebecca said, everything, Mary. Evening, everyone. So that's for Rebecca. Oh, I should show you what she made me. These insane. She knitted sneakers. Like, it's insane. I brought them out when she first sent them. And Farmer Dave is from North Carolina. Bonus. Ranger says, thank you. I had family living in Wilmington and moved to the sticks. So there you go. All right. So let's do this somewhat systematically. When we first started talking to you, we knew you had a farm. We had talked about that. But you mentioned, and as we're talking to you more when there was no one else and we could talk like normal people and didn't have to discuss food, you said you were 82nd Airborne. And I'm like, wait, what? And what was my first question? Wait, so you jumped out of planes voluntarily? What made you decide that's what I want to do?
I had military service sort of instilled in me at a young age. My dad served in the Army during the Vietnam War. My grandfather during World War II. I joined right out of high school. And talking about jumping out of airplanes, I did all the testing, and then you can kind of pick your job. My recruiter sent me back there to pick his job. He was an engineer, and he thought, listen, you've tested high enough, you can do whatever you want. So, think about what you want to do. And I went back, I picked my job, I came back out, and he said, well, what'd you pick? I said, Airborne Infantry. And he said, wait, you could have picked anything. You picked Airborne Infantry. I was like, yeah, it'd be great to jump out of airplanes and blow stuff up. I can't think of a better time than that. So it just seemed like a really awesome, exciting job to do for a while. So that's why I picked it.
So was this right out of high school or out of college?
Right out of high school. Yep.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you jumped out. Now, did you, I guess, what were the years that you were in there? Were there any major actions that went on during that time?
There were not, actually. There were no major actions during that time. It was late 90s to 2000. So right before a lot of action started. I had some really cool experiences though while I was in. I got the opportunity to train down at Fort Sherman, Panama, which that base actually moved to Puerto Rico now, but I trained at the Jungle Operations Training Center. Talk about a really cool parachute descent. I got to jump out of the tailgate of a Chinook helicopter. That's the twin blade helicopters.
The twin blades, yeah.
Right over the Panama Canal. So this was before the age of cell phone. So I had my, I'm definitely aging myself now. I had the disposable Kodaks, where you
Okay,
have
honey,
my
I remember when Polaroid, well, I was a child when Polaroids first came out, my all those pictures disappeared. They're all black now. All those
yeah,
pictures are gone.
yeah.
So,
So I had my disposable Polaroid taking photos of the locks from 1,500 feet. It was really neat, and I actually took a selfie. It actually worked out too. I was like one of the first to take a selfie with a disposable. I
wow.
still have that picture, but yeah, that was a ton of fun. I got the opportunity to train with the British One Para over in the UK, and I was able to. I was awarded their jump wings as well, so I jumped with them and trained with them for several months. So a lot of really cool experiences while I was active.
That's great. That's great. But adrenaline junkie, clearly. And it makes sense now that you say you can't stand still. So it totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. All right. So you decided to do that. And how long you were in, you said for 10 years, right? You were in for 10 years.
So
And then
I was
why
four
leave?
active. Yeah, I was four active, and then I was actually six with North Carolina Army National Guard. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so after my active duty, I moved down here to Wilmington, North Carolina, where I attended UNCW, the University of North Carolina, at Wilmington, and I also served in the North Carolina Army National Guard. So and that's when I deployed to Iraq for OIF II. Another interesting tidbit of information: our unit in the National Guard was the first unit to deploy overseas to a combat zone since World War II. So we deployed in support of,
Wow.
yeah, Operation Iraqi Freedom 2 right after that first initial invasion. They use the National Guard for overseas deployments all the time now, but prior,
Right.
after World War II, they didn't. Everybody was here to protect the homeland, and we were the first. And it was a bit of a shock, but it
Surprise.
wasn't. Yeah, exactly. So
Surprise.
the way the National Guard is, it's your 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Well, we did our 2 weeks at the National Training Center down in the deserts of California, doing desert warfare. So we had never been there before. We thought, this is kind of interesting. I wonder why we're doing this. Well, months later, we figured out why, and we were.
Did they serve you lobster and steak before you? And you're like, uh-oh.
No, they didn't. We did get a couple lobster and steak meals though while we were in Iraq at some of the forward
Okay.
operating bases. After we really got established, when we first got over there, it was bare bones. There really weren't any. There wasn't much U.S. infrastructure there, any big bases or anything like that. We're kind of out there on our own. Because again, it was right after that sort of initial invasion and then they deployed the National Guard to start, doing those more of the winning people over hearts and minds type of
Hearts and
operation.
minds. Yeah.
Yeah, we did many years of hearts and minds. I don't think we won many over, but
Well, you try. And look at this. And this adorable young thing. Can you imagine how adorable he was when he was just like a wee lad, like all right. A little off topic, but I don't want it to get lost in the sauce here. So we'll come back to this. But Art says, how important was the Farmer Veteran Fellowship Fund to start off your farm? I have a good friend who's a veteran who might like this.
Yeah, to start things off, we were able to start things off without the Farmer Veteran Fellowship Fund, but to keep things going and to grow the farm, that was a great asset, absolutely great asset for us. And I'll just let you know the Farmers Veterans Coalition is a nonprofit organization that helps veterans transition from the military to farming. And they have a grant that you can apply for. And I applied for one of those grants last year, and I got it. And this grant was to help build the infrastructure to begin raising pork using rotational grazing practices regeneratively on our farm. So, great organization. And yeah, the Fellowship Fund is a great fund. And for the gentleman to ask a question, feel free to reach out on YouTube. I can help anybody if they're, working on the grant itself.
Yeah, and you
More than
can
happy to
find
help
him
out.
on YouTube. You can find him on YouTube at Wild Hearts Farm. All right. And then same thing on Instagram, but there's just an underscore between each word. So wild_hearts_farm. So thank you for that. Let's see. Star Driver wants everyone to know if you're seeing the pictures stacked, 1, 2, he says, close out the page and sign back in. It'll be correct. That means if you're watching on YouTube, when you choose, you can either do it that way for your cell phone or you can watch it horizontally. Just choose the right one. We go through this every week. It's not that hard. So there should be like when you go to the pages, like a little, looks like a little camera, and that means that it's the vertical one. So if you want horizontal, just you can go back and just try that. So, okay, hey, Paul is here. Paul, hi, Paul. See, Herman says, I really would if the if IT department had worn a MAGA Speedo in the hot tub, then it would really have been a hot tub. It would have been an empty tub, but sure. Ranger Sewer says some of the best cadence is from Airborne. Don't know what that means.
A cadence is a sort of a rhythmic song you sing while you're marching or running. So left,
I
right,
gotcha.
left, right, you know. Yep.
Seen it in the movies. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Paul's got both channels going side by side, the side by side and the stacked. Thank you so much. That we love. Mangle wants to thank you for your service. I think that's wonderful.
Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
Sal wants to know, did you ever jump out of the tail end of a USAF Sikorsky Super Jolly Green Giant?
That I did not. I think the biggest plane I jumped out of was the, let's see, what was the Globemaster? The C-131? No. And it was called the Globemaster. It was actually a test plane at the time, and we were one of the first to jump out of this plane. And what they didn't realize when you jumped out of the plane is they needed a longer jump line, a longer static line. So when we all jumped the first time, the static lines would actually pull at your chute for you in the combat type jumps, because you load up with so much equipment you can't pull it yourself really. So it's a line that connects you to the inside of the plane. And when we jumped out of the Globemaster for the first time, we all went flying off out into the atmosphere because the line was so short and pulled our chutes open so short. We got caught up in the backwash of the jet itself, of the plane itself. So that was an interesting one. And they realized you have to have new chutes with longer static lines to be able to jump out of this very large plane.
Could someone not have done the math for that ahead of time?
I don't know. I feel like they usually let us kind of figure it out for ourselves, or they're just like, "Hey, just let them jump. We'll just figure out what went wrong afterwards." We were very expendable.
No. Yeah, no. Sue's also in Philly says, "Happy St. Patrick's Day." Cindy says, "I keep making you blush." I'm sorry. I don't mean to do that.
No.
Hermit also says, "Thank you for serving." Now they're going to do. Here you go. Mangle says, yesterday I held the door for a state trooper. He said that he said, I think, thank you. I said, no, thank you, sir. He didn't expect that from a long-haired looking like me. A C-17 Globemaster.
C-17. There you go.
We have quite a few vets who are here. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So you decide I'm done. You know, you did 4 and 6 and it's like 10 years. So you move on. Now, wait till you hear what he did when he moved on. You move on, you start working for the government.
I do.
Right. And you're in like research, pharmaceutical, food stuff, this, that, the other. I'm like, so what did you major in college that gets qualified you for this?
I actually, when I was in college, I actually majored in international business. So it wasn't a biology type degree or anything. And the reason I got that job was the one actually before that. So when I first got out of the military, now my deployment to Iraq was right in the middle of my junior year in college. Yeah, my junior year. So I got pulled out. I came back, I finished my degree, and I started working in the defense industry first, for a really cool company out of Southern California that developed and distributed non-lethal weapons to the military. So it was that was brand new. This was actually really neat. So when I served in Iraq, we didn't have any type of escalation of force. I guess I mean, all we had was lethal force. We had no non-lethal force, and we're in a battlefield now that was just surrounded by civilians. Intermingled with, an insurgency, and there were a lot of civilian deaths when I was in because we didn't have any of these non-lethal weapons. So I started working to help develop and then field non-lethal weapons to the soldier. which was a really, really cool job for me. And it was a really impactful job. I really felt like, I saw a couple of times firsthand some pretty sad things happen with civilians, and I know that the soldiers that were involved in that, it weighed on them for their entire lives. So to be able to develop and field these types of weapons, non-lethal weapons, to help out with the soldier was just really impactful to me.
Yeah, no, I can understand where it would be. Absolutely. And the mental toll that is just, and I'm so glad that we're past like what our grandfathers went through, or great grandfathers, World War II, wherever it happened. My dad's a vet, but he fought the Battle of the New Jersey Turnpike driving to Fort Dix. So that's what my mother said. She goes, "Your father fought the Battle of the Turnpike." So because as kids were like, "Daddy, did you ever see war?" And my mother would always be like, "Yeah."
That's great.
But they never said anything. They suffered in silence, right? Like they just came home, got over it, and just carried on. And there's something to be said for some of that. But I also think that addressing it and dealing with it and finding the best ways to deal with it, whether it's pharmacological, whether it's some kind of therapy, talk therapy, or animals, whatever it happens to be, or some combination thereof. I think it's probably a combination of things. So this gave you the opportunity to use your knowledge from what you had experienced with this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was in that field for about 10 years, and my military service really gave my passion to do this type of work with veterans, and that led me to that next role that I held, working in clinical research. And this was, again, with an organization that works specifically with the government, and we developed drugs, therapeutics, and vaccines for the government. We handled all of the research for that, and this was the DoD as well as along with the National Institute of Health, or the BARDA, the Biomedical Advanced Research Development Authority. All of the government agencies we worked on, CDC, we worked on public health research, basically.
Very interesting. I mean, it's incredible how one step went to this, went to this, went to this, went to this.
Yeah. And again, I was, again, just having this opportunity to work with veterans. For instance, some of the work we did, we helped run what's called an adaptive platform trial, which is a drug trial for PTSD therapeutics for soldiers. And this was done through the DoD, and all of the patients that were getting the drugs for research were all military, we're all veterans that were suffering, and we had a lot of good, viable therapeutics that came out of that program.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Let's just get to some of the comments and questions. Gregory says, "I see that Wilmington, North Carolina is close to the ocean. Do you face any challenge?"
We don't, except that our well water it just doesn't smell the greatest. But besides that, it's fine. Yeah, we have no issues with the water here on the farm.
That's good. Well water's the best. I don't care what anybody says. Linnea, my friend Linnea, who is feeling better. Glad to hear that. From Central Washington State, certified sustainable forest land. Love promoting any farming, especially regenerative. A member of the Washington Farm Forestry for 25 years, Douglas fir and ponderosa. So they're very big into that. And you can check, I don't think Linnea has a page for her homestead, but again, you can check out Wild Hearts Farm on YouTube. Check out the shorts. There's like a long introduction, a video, like a half-hour long introduction to the farm, and you get to see everything. And on Instagram, it's Wild Hearts Farm with an underscore between each word, Wild Hearts Farm. Speaking of social media, for the love of God, could you just give a thumbs up to the broadcast? That's all I ask. I don't ask a lot. I don't ask for money. I don't have a tip jar. I don't ask for anything. And someone's like, "Why don't you monetize your podcast?" I'm like, "Because it's a really great group." I have to beg them to give me likes. Do you think they're going to give me money? No, that's not going to happen. So I just a couple of likes, and please subscribe. I would appreciate that. Let me just really quick check on Getter. No, nobody on Getter. All right. So I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Star Driver says you have a cool Instagram page. He loves your barn.
Awesome. That barn was Built by the Amish, which is really cool. Well, and myself, but they did some of the work.
Because it said, you said, I built this barn. I'm like, what doesn't this guy do? He built the barn too. It's beautiful. It looks like something you could eat off the floor in it. I mean, it doesn't look like a barn. Like I remember when I was a kid, it doesn't look like one of those barns. It looks like a bougie barn.
Yeah, you haven't seen in a while though. I need to post some new pictures of it.
All right. All right. Looks,
It's
I
very
was
well
going to
used
say,
now.
Ranger Sewer says no LTL weapons, question mark. I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means?
I'm not
I
sure
don't
what
know
that
what that
actual
means.
acronym means either.
And then he says Berna, which I don't know what Berna is. That's the commercial with the banana, but I don't know what Berna is. LTL is the future in law enforcement. A lot of people in his film. So we don't know what you're talking about, Ranger. If you want to, if you would like to expand, please do. A lot of his family went through Fort Dix. My father was there Monday through Friday. Andy in Ireland, happy St. Patrick's Day, Andy. By the way, what is it? The Taoiseach, the president of Ireland, the Taoiseach was at the White House today with the traditional, they have the like a pot of all the not clover, right? Clover. Yeah, they're part of that. Ranger said PTSD is tough on the families too. Did you ever work on anything for the families?
We haven't, but yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it's very difficult on the family as well. I know there's a lot of decent nonprofits out there who are always there to help. But
yeah,
the military families take their toll, definitely.
Yeah, they really, because they serve as well. They absolutely serve as well. You want to know if you ever went to Fort Totten? I think that's New York, isn't it?
I'm not familiar with that fort.
No, I'm not familiar with that. Let's see who else is here. Andy is getting some hellos from the crowd. Does Rumble have a thumbs up somewhere? Yes, it does. Right at the bottom, right there. A thumbs up. There's 3 right now. Seriously, people. There's it has thumbs up and thumbs down. You give it a thumbs down, and I swear to God, I will hunt you down. I will find you. Joseph is here. He says hello. Here you go. Have any environmentalists ever tried to interfere with your farm? And then we're going to talk about the jump. All right. So have any environmentalists ever tried to interfere with your farming?
No, we have not had any environmentalists try to interfere with our farming. I'm waiting for the day we back up to state game lands and they're protected wetlands, and we're a relatively small operation right now. I would imagine eventually when we have some growth, cattle, I'm sure they may come calling, because I know that happens.
All right, so here you are doing all this research, doing all this stuff for the government, and then all of us. How did you decide? I'm going to buy a farm and I'm just going to do this sustainable farming. You're talking cattle, you've got goats, you've got livestock, you got all this stuff, you got animals. I mean, okay, I'm good with cats and dogs. That I can handle. And I would love to have
them too.
Right. I would love to have like baby goats. But then I wouldn't want them when they're not babies anymore. And I'll show you why in just a second. But like I love the little goats, like the little miniature donkey things, like those types of things. But you have like actual real animals. Where did that knowledge come from? And I mean, Heather, I would assume you guys were married by this point in the game. So you decided that you're going to take this jump into this. Whose passion was this first, yours or hers?
I would say hers.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of both. Kind of hers when it came to the timing and the pushing. So we actually purchased the land years before we actually moved out here. Our families lived in rural areas. We've always wanted to live in a rural area. Thought it would be more of like a retirement type of hobby farm thing. And then Wilmington kind of exploded. It got really busy. So we decided to build a house and move out here. Still didn't really think much about farming or animals, but we moved into our home in February of 2020. So that was days before COVID just shut everything down. And we were here, we were both grounded. We used to travel a lot for work. We were both working in our offices here, and we had a lot more free time. And what really started the gateway drug to this is chickens. So what really happened?
Oh, there you go.
My wife got some baby chicks, and she said, "Hey, I've got these baby chicks, and they're going to need a chicken coop. So you're going to have to build a chicken coop by this date, basically." So that's how it started. We started off with chickens and raised them for eggs for ourselves, and then got more chickens with more eggs and gave them to other people, and then we really got into just the whole lifestyle. Trying to feed ourselves, trying to become a little bit more sustainable. And then COVID was a big driver as well. I mean, we saw what happened to the food, the food chain, and people, people running out of food in the shelves. And we're like, we have all this land. Let's try to become a little bit more sustainable. Let's do, and a lot healthier as well. That's something. My wife was a vegetarian for a while, only because she didn't like the way animals were raised and with the factory farming, and thought it was inhumane. So she has no problem with it when we raise them ourselves and dump a lot of love and care into them and have them raised on pasture in the sunshine with all organic feed, grass, the way God intended them to be raised. So the life kind of pushed me, not push me, but nudged me.
It just happened. It was perfect timing. Everything happens for a reason. So there was a reason. The dominoes were in place, and they just needed to be tipped at the right time, and that happened.
100%.
Yeah. See, I could not. That's where I could not do sustainable farming. I would starve. I could eat the eggs, but I would die of heart failure. But like I could never like kill a chicken or be like, no, that was Sam. I can't. Like I'm that person who names it like, oh my God, I'm gonna love you and hug you, and you're gonna grow old with me. I couldn't do that. I can't do it.
Well, we do a couple of rounds of poultry for meat, and those are birds that are raised separately from our egg laying flock. And I had to tell Heather very early on. The first time we did it, I said, listen, you can't name these chickens, because we are going to process these chickens. We're going to eat these chickens, so you can't. And I saw her one time. We raised them on pasture in what's called a chicken tractor. I saw her inside that chicken tractor when they were small and petting them, and said, Heather, don't play with your food, okay? Quit playing with your food. So I really had to kind of keep her separate from from the animals that we actually produce and then process to eat. Yeah, but she's come a long way.
Okay, all right. Well, if a long way from the chicken coop, which by the way, there's a short on YouTube about the chicken coop. Go check it out. The first thing that was built, and it looks like this little. Just I'm not going to spoil it. Just go check it out. All right. Just. I have to get an Instagram account. I don't have Instagram. I've been trying not to do it because I need people. I'm so busy with work and then trying to post everything on social media and keep up with that and everything else. I'm like, I need people, and I don't make enough money for people. And then I'm like, I could do that myself. But yeah, check it out on Instagram and on YouTube, Wild Hearts Farm. Let's see. Berna is a pepper ball shooting handgun. That's what it is. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We've seen those, definitely.
Hopped up paintball markers for law enforcement. Yeah, but the problem is these people get marked with it. Like Japan puts blue dye in the water when these people when they do their insurgency. Like if they were acting the fool the way they are in Minneapolis, which they've calmed the hell down. Have you noticed that? They've calmed all the way down. I don't know what's going on. But when that was going on, Japan just sprays them all with water. And then when you get this indelible blue dye that doesn't come off for days on your skin, they just round you up. And that's it. But in this country, we round you up and give you a lollipop. So it's not even worth the waste of my tax dollars. So okay, let's see. Joseph, I am living proof of that. Barnett says non-lethal. Okay. Art says, we have 26 acres and I'd love to have goats for not much else than grass and vine management. Wife says they'll jump on cars. I have a Mercedes. If they did that, I'm having cabrito. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, we've used our goats to clear portions of our land, and besides that, they're good for Instagram fodder and not much else. But yeah, grazing and clearing of vines and all the Chinese privet, the stuff that you don't like, they're fantastic for that.
All right, so I'm going to hold on. Stop, 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 stop. Okay. So speaking of goats, I want to share this with you. This is a guy named Anthony Brock, and I am obsessed with this man. He has he can't train, and he says is the meanest goat ever. And so he's asked his followers, yeah, and this goat, there's videos of him, this goat just making his life miserable. So he's trying to scare the goat into compliance. So he's asked his followers, what do you think goats are afraid of? And he's on like number 58 of things goats could be afraid of. This is round 17 that I want to share with you. All right. So I hope everybody can see this right there. Okay, share. Okay, so there it is. And hopefully you can all hear this too. All right, here it is. This is round 19 of this farmer versus his goats.
Welcome to round 19. Comments say that goats are scared of dinosaurs. See who's boss. You guys have terrible ideas. What's next? All right, welcome to round 19.
Listen, I have never been gladder that my wife got pygmy goats instead of full-size goats. So
He's got one where somebody tells him he's afraid of Godzilla. There's one with Godzilla. He puts on all this padding underneath, obviously, because I'm sure this guy doesn't have one bone that isn't broken. Let's see. What is this? Here's another one. I'll share this one. Add to stage. Okay, this is his thing. Here we go. Where is it? Oh no, it's not going. Oh, that's just to show United Healthcare fixed benefit plans. There's an ad there. So he said the ad placement was perfect. Where is it? Oh, here's one where he's.
Hello and welcome
There we go.
to round 25. This comment has over 5,700 likes and says that goats are scared of chickens. Let's see who's boss. Really likes on a comment mean nothing. What's next? Hello and welcome to round 25.
that's a full contact sport there.
Yeah, Anthony Brock, B-R-O-C-K. He's on Facebook. He's on Instagram. He's all over the place. Go and then the number 4 Anthony. If you're following him, I guess elsewhere, go for Anthony. But on YouTube, it's just Anthony. That was Facebook rather. It's just Anthony Brock. So I'm curious. You can't do that with your goats because I was going to ask you if you were going to start making videos for us.
No, we can't do that with our goats. They're a little bit smaller. We do have a lot of goat videos though throughout the years. I mean, they're very comical. They have their own little personality, each and every one of them. They don't bother us too much when it comes to. I mean, they'll kind of mess with each other, but that's about it. Our poor dog. We have this great little chocolate lab that is just so great with all the chickens, the goats, everything. And they've gone after him a couple times and really hurt his feelings.
Aw.
I know it's the worst.
That's not nice at all. That's not nice. But all right. So you have the little baby goats. You don't use them for meat. You just use them, I guess, for milk or something.
Not for milk either. We've just used them primarily for pasture management. So we'll occasionally graze them around some areas of our pasture, and they'll obviously keep it mowed for me, which is great. But then all of their own fecal matter just kind of goes into the nutrients of the pasture. So that's about it. And if there's areas we have to clear out when it comes to vines or just any type of land you want to clear out, you can move them into that area, and they'll go to work and have it done in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, there's someone else that I've seen on YouTube or Twitter or somewhere, and they have a service. And so if you've like this really overgrown backyard, they bring the goats in and they just let them eat, and then they put them on the thing, they take them away, and then they bring them back, and they just that's how they clear it, just naturally, sustainably, and the goats are getting fed, so it's a win-win for everybody. Now, Cindy is Art's wife, and she says, I have 20 chickens because they have 26 acres, but they are pets. I've considered meat chickens. How do you raise them?
So we raise ours. We'll buy the chicks and have them sent to us, and we raise them on pasture in what's called a chicken tractor. It's a little mobile enclosure with no bottom, so they can get all the organic matter, and we just pull them and across the pastures. They also help with pasture management as well, and regeneratively bringing the land back, because again, everything, all the chickeny things that they do just helps the grass, and they grow much quicker. So a meat bird will grow within 8 weeks, and at eight weeks you process them, and yeah, that's it. We process them ourselves as well. A couple good videos
You
on
do?
YouTube listed that. We do.
No,
Yes.
no. Oh, I can't. I'd have the priest in there all the time with the holy water cleaning out the evil spirits. No, no.
Yeah, it's a natural thing. It's what everybody
I know,
needs to
but
do.
I don't want to know. I know, but I don't want to know. It's like, I
And
don't
I
even
will.
like when the fish comes with the head on. I'm like, take it back, take the head off it. I don't want to
Oh,
know.
I will.
Can't
I will.
bond
I
with
will
my
say though,
food.
the meat from a truly pasture raised chicken without any antibiotics or
I
vaccines,
know.
it just tastes completely different, and it looks a little different, and it is just so good and clean. And we bring friends over and we feed them. We'll cook a whole chicken, and that's always a comment. They just say, God, it just tastes so clean, and it
Good.
tastes so
Yeah.
nutrient dense, and it's wonderful. It really is.
Do you sell anything that you do on the farm, whether it's meat or produce?
We do. We sell our eggs, and we sell our chicken as well, whole chicken, and it's direct to consumer, and it's really just a handful of friends and acquaintances who just appreciate this type of the way we raise our animals, and that type of meat and eggs. And the eggs are wonderful. I mean, they're all the different colored eggs, the green and brown
Green.
and pink. Yeah, the shell. So yeah, the shells are all different colors. The egg yolks are that good, extremely healthy. Just really
Yeah.
good eggs as
Because
well.
this can't be inexpensive. So have you guys maintained your other day jobs?
Yes. Well, yes and no. I took a little bit of time off from my job to really concentrate on building a little bit more of an infrastructure here, so we could continue to grow. Heather continues to work as well. I'm probably going to be going back to work here in a little bit, but I decided one day when I was on a conference call and staring out the window, just when to do all these things, that I said, that's it. This is the time. I just got to take some time off. And that's when I built the barn and built the larger coop. And I got the grant for raising the pigs on pasture. And I've been doing this for 2.5 years. We're in just a really great spot now, where everything works really, really well and fluidly. And I don't think we want to grow too much anymore. We are going to move into the pasture raised pigs, which I think again is something that we can handle with both is going to work, and eventually grass fed beef as well. And I think again that's all something we can do nights and weekends. Again, we don't. We're active. We are just so incredibly active. And but listen, we have friends. We have friends with kids who love to come out here and experience all this. And people reach out. People say, "Hey, I mean, I'm so impressed with what y'all are doing. And can I just come out and I don't know, pet a horse and play with a goat, whatever I can do out here, and I'll help out, whatever." So we have people come out sometimes the weekends, complete strangers who might work in Wilmington and banking or something, who don't get much of an opportunity to come out and spend their time in nature around farm animals. It's really therapeutic for them. So we'll come out and give a little bit of a lending hand, and maybe we'll give them some eggs or whatever. But yeah, it's great to
No, you're giving them free. You're giving them free therapy is what you're giving them.
Yes, absolutely.
Speaking of that, Mangelmush says, I had 2 uncles in Vietnam. One saw some of the worst of it, never the same, and never sought help, angry for the rest of his life. The other uncle got help and is retired, and he golfs and writes poetry. Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh, how about now?
There you are. Go ahead.
Okay, good. I was going to say that's great. He found an outlet with the golf and poetry, and that's what you need. You have to find an outlet.
You have to be willing though. And I think there's especially for Vietnam era vets, I think there was a certain stigma attached to it because they were treated so horrifically by, the liberal elites. They were treated so horrifically when they came back that I think there was a shame. They felt ashamed to their service for what they had done. They answered the call. They did what their country asked of them, and then they got spit on for it. And that had to be a true mind F, right? And so asking for help, that's not what your father did. That's not what your grandfather did, right? So you're weak if you have to ask for help. And they probably maybe had a father who said, what do you mean? Why do you need help? You just get on and you do it, be a man. And they weren't okay. And I'm glad to see, going back to what we were talking about earlier, I'm so glad to see that it's now more normalized to say, okay, take a beat. It's no shame in going to talk to somebody. It's an okay thing to do. And that there are support groups now of veterans saying, hey, this helped me. It's okay. And we're going to go and we're going to get you some help. So
absolutely, and just having that battle buddy, when you get back to reach out to. I will say after that absolutely disastrous pull out of Afghanistan, which is probably a very similar absolute slap in the face to our veterans, when you have to look back and see these people that we're fighting wearing the same uniform as we wore. And I'll tell you, I got more calls after that happened of people just checking up and saying, whether you served in Iraq or Afghanistan, any veteran, and that was such a slap in the face to our veterans. That was terrible. But at least there, that support group is there. We were all reaching out to each other saying, hey, we'll get through this. It's not all worth nothing, so.
Yeah, no, that is very, very important. Okay, so Fort Totten was in New York, in Queens. That's what I thought. Okay. I think my son is meeting baby chicks in Cancun on spring break. But I'm bummed. Searching for the website. There's no website, Linnea. You just go on YouTube and it's Wild Hearts Farm on YouTube. And that's at Wild Hearts Farm. Just look for that on YouTube. You'll search, on YouTube, and it'll come up. And then on Instagram, it's wild_hearts_farm. There's no web page per se. It's just those two social media outlets.
We do have the URL reserved, wildheartsfarmnc.com, but haven't launched that yet. That's probably something for the future.
Because you need people.
Yeah, you need people. Mm-hmm.
You do. I don't know how you make the videos. Gregory wants to know, so we got some farmers here too. Have you ever had any trouble with predatory animals like foxes?
Yes, we have. We do a pretty good job now with our chickens, but mostly the hens that we let out in free range. We've lost a few to fox. Lost a few to hawks as well. We have a couple of roosters now, and roosters actually do a pretty good job of warning the hens when there is danger. We have a really secure coop, so as long as they can make it through the day, which most of the predators like fox or bobcat, which we have out here, they mostly hunt at night. So as long as we can get them in at a decent time and they roost and we can shut them up, they do pretty well. But we have lots of success.
Okay, so if you have free range chickens, because they can fly, so they're in trees. I've seen them like in trees and stuff like that. They just stay out at night then too. They don't come back into the coop.
Ours come back into the coop. Yeah.
How do you get them back? They're in a tree. Like Hazel, come down. She's in a tree. How do you get it down?
So the only time a chicken will fly into a tree is if it's going to roost there because they think it's their home. So if you raise your baby chicks in the coop you want them to come back to as their home, then every night when it gets dark, they go into the coop on their own and they go roost in there. And then you can just shut the doors and you're good to go. We open the doors in the morning. They go out and they go all around. I mean, they're on the front porch sometimes. They're they're digging through the landscaping, which we don't really have landscaping anymore. You can't, But come evening, right at dusk, they'll all go marching right back in and roost in their coop.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. All right. Oh, very interesting. Okay. Don't forget, by the way, I just gave you their socials. I just wanted to let you know, Thursday in the morning, I'm on for David Webb, 9 a.m. to noon on Sirius Patriot Channel. And then Thursday later in the day, 3 to 6, I'm back on 12:10 WPHT in Philly, and same on Friday, 12:10 WPHT in Philly. And next Tuesday, as always, I'm on with Todd Starnes on Todd Starnes Show with K. Smith Hill on Newsmax 2. That's N2. If it's not on your provider, then just go to YouTube and look for Newsmax 2, and you can watch us. We're in there between 5 and usually like 5:15. We usually ride at 5:15, sometimes 5:30, but in that area there. So, okay. Scott says, it sounds like your animals eat good if they're eating, especially organic. They're eating better than most of us, it sounds like.
We want to eat organic, so we have our animals eat that way as well. We do buy organic feed, but a lot of what the chickens do is they're out there all day long. They're eating the grass or eating, bugs and whatever they can. Those little chameleons. I mean, chickens are savage. They'll eat those little chameleon lizards and stuff. Yeah, they'll chase each other around trying to get out of each other's mouths. But we do supplement with all organic feed, but they eat a lot of just what's around the pasture.
Interesting. Ranger says you're right. It's exactly how God wanted them to be raised. Linnea says carnivore here, but PT, that's her husband, and I cannot eat anything that's factory farmed. Have you seen the pics of pigs and chickens in tiny cages? Ugh. I have seen those pictures, but I just don't want to know. I'm one of those. I know how it happens, but I don't want to know. So like I'm cool with hunting. Like if you hunt, as long as you eat it, I'm totally down with that. Right. Like, so I get it. And I understand it's the circle of life. And I understand that, there is a food pyramid and a chain, and here we are at the top, except for like sharks that can kill you and moose that can stomp you because they're very big and they have tiny little brains, bison. So we're really not at the top of the food chain if you really think about it, because there's quite a few things that could take us out.
Sure.
But I don't know. I'm not guessing. And it's funny because I grew up around farms. I grew up, taking the eggs out from under the chicken and you get a basket and the farmer gave us a nickel, like that kind of stuff. I grew up around it. We had neighbors who had sheep and, they used them to cut the lawn, and horses and all that stuff. So I grew up around it. But for some reason, I don't think, especially if you're processing them right there. Do you do it, or does someone come on who does it for you?
No, we do it. But it's again, the way we do it is way more humane than any other way you would see it when it comes to the factory farming. Like the last individual said, these little cages. I mean, that's what we want to see things go. We want to see that type of farming go away, and we would love to see it only chickens being raised how chickens are raised, how should cows on pastures, not in concentrated feedlots, pigs out raised on pasture too, the way we're going to do it, and not in these tiny gestation crates where they just pump food in them, fatten them up, and then slaughter them. It's a terrible life that they have to live there, and that's all kind of going into the meat and the food. And
sure, the chemicals, the body that they produce.
Mm-hmm.
How did you learn how to do all this? I mean, you seem like you sleep like 4 hours a night because you both work day jobs and you're running an entire farm, and we're going to get elephants. So, and we just learned it. Like, how did you learn all this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's on YouTube. Watching a lot of videos, talking to others. I mean, we've had other people who do this around the area, and they've come out and we've gone out to them and kind of watched them do it, and they've kind of helped us out a little bit. But yeah, a lot of it's. I mean, the knowledge base is definitely out there. Heather's Instagram. I mean, she's learned so much from others who have done this before her through Instagram, and making those connections there as well. So, but really, we want to be all sort of community based, where people kind of raise food, they can barter and help each other out, and you can learn from each other, and I like that.
For a conservative, you're sounding like you're living in a commune with Bernie Sanders. I
know, but it's changed. It's like the most conservative people now seem to be the homesteaders, the ones who used to be the liberal commune folks.
The hippies. Right. Exactly. Well, that's because you're a prepper.
That's right. Yeah. We're trying to do this so we don't have to be, living off of the government, right?
All right, when it all goes sideways, we're coming down to you. Ranger
Come
Singer
on.
says, come on, people, subscribe to the Queen. Yes. Yes. And by the way, the reason it says the Queen, for those of you who may not know, or and I know Dave doesn't, my friend, the guy who does the graphics for us, did the ad block for you. His son, I had the Queen up here as a joke, and his son watches every podcast and every time I'm on TV, so it has to say the Queen, or else Zachy cannot handle it if it doesn't say the Queen. So it will always say the Queen for Zach. So there we go. Mango Mush used to clean a chicken coop when he was a kid. He said it's nasty. Never had to clean the chicken coop. Herman says, I asked about environmentalist interference because my friend's landlord tried to cut down a tree that might damage the roof, but an environmentalist got a court order stopping him because of birds' nests. Well, so then just wait until after the birds leave the nest and it's abandoned, and then you cut the tree down, right? Like that just seems like a simple answer, right?
I remember when we would train out at Fort Bragg, there were certain trees with white rings around them painted, and that's where the red cockaded woodpecker would be seen. And if we were out there training and we saw these trees with the white bands around them, we had to vacate the area immediately because of this endangered bird. So yeah, these environmentalists, they can really go far.
Yeah, well, listen, if there was nesting birds and they got a thing to stop, first of all, if you're cutting down a tree on your property, I get it, you don't want to crash into the house. But if there's a bird nesting birds, then either move the nest, which is probably not good, or just let them nest, have a couple of months, and then cut it down.
That's true. After spring, they should be gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Linnea says goats are amazing for fire-wising in forest land. Cleaning out all the underbrush, I would assume, right?
Interesting.
Yes. Fort Wadsworth on Staten Island uses goats to get rid of weeds in unsafe areas. There you go. The goat thinks, referring to the video, the goat just thinks it's a game. There was one where someone said, I bet you the goat's afraid of Godzilla. So this guy made like a little cardboard city, and he's got a big Godzilla outfit. And he squishes the cardboard things and then lets out the big Godzilla roar coming from a speaker. And I'm not going to tell you what happened, but you can guess, but go watch. Because Joseph asks, aren't goats afraid of loud and abrupt noises?
Yeah, they are sometimes. Ours are.
I think the fainting goats are the ones that are afraid of loud noises. Those things are hilarious. You should get some fainting goats just for entertainment purposes, because you can make so much money with those videos. They're hilarious.
Yeah, they're hilarious. I would imagine it's only because of human intervention that they're still around, because I'll tell you, that's the worst thing for predators. When they get scared, they just pass out and then like get eaten. I mean, I don't understand how they've survived all these years. You know?
Well, the humans, you see videos of the humans, they'll have like 4 of them in a row and they're all standing there. She goes, and they just go boom.
They'll fall over.
All right, we're wrapping up here, kids. Get your questions in quickly. Watching Your Back says, what do you grow on your farm?
So we have the pasture-raised meats, but then my wife also has a very large, all organic garden, and it's really everything across the board, from potatoes, onions, cucumber, peas, you name it. Just a whole bunch of different vegetables. And I'll say there's nothing better than being there at night, when you sit down for dinner and you have your whole chicken that you just cooked, that you raised. You've got your mashed potatoes there. You've got your whatever, maybe your collard greens or whatever, and you realize that you created all of this. You raised all this. You've grown all this yourself, and you get to eat it. So and I'll tell you, it's just delicious. I mean, there's nothing better than just really fresh, organic food grown by your own 2 hands.
That is kind of cool. That is very cool. When I was a kid, my dad grew everything because my grandparents were from Germany. They grew everything, so they always had a big farm. Not huge, but enough, for them. And so my dad always had one. And maybe it's why I don't do it now, is because when I was a kid, we were like migrant workers, we were slave labor. And if we wanted to eat that night, you had to get out there. And, I remember the picking, and then we had to freeze everything. So you had to cook the tomatoes down and get the skins off, you steam them and get the skins off, and you had to cook them down and get the seeds out. And then it all got frozen. And the string beans, cut the end, snap, cut the end, snap, like all of that, washing them off and putting them in the container. That's how I spent my summers.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I don't like to do it now.
Who has time, right? That's the thing. It just takes a while. It really does.
Well, I don't understand. I still don't understand how you do what you do, because I don't know where my days go. Art says that looks like the video of a donkey kicking a coyote's ass. Donkeys will tear up a coyote. My friend had a pet goat. This is Mangle. He said he would eat your pack of cigarettes, wrapped and all, and steal your beer right off the table. Well, is it true that they'll eat garbage? Can you just give them garbage to eat?
Ours are actually pretty picky, believe it or not. I mean, I don't know if we have like weird goats, but I mean, we like all the any type of compost that we might have. You're peeling carrots or something like that. Like all of that goes to goats or chickens. Chickens eat anything, but our goats are actually a little bit more picky.
Finicky?
Yeah, they really are. Yeah,
they live on a farm with a chandelier in the barn. They're bougie goats. That's why they're like that.
And they're the Instagram, stars. So I think they're just kind of high maintenance like that.
Scott says a friend had some goats on their farm. The small ones would get on top of the other animals, the llamas, whatever, a cow, I guess, too, and they just walk around. The baby ones and the baby goats did it too. Linnea found you on YouTube and subscribed. So did I. I subscribed too.
Thanks.
Herman Sal says hit the like button and subscribe. Joseph, in my reference to the priest, said 1 novena per chicken. That's a long time. It's 9 days. That buys a chicken 9 days though. Let's see. I said I don't like even the fish on the head on my fish. I leave the head on my trout. The cheek meat is the best. Oh. Trout don't have cheek. But what are you talking about? Trout? No, stop. I wonder if eating piranha fish is healthy. Hermit wants to know. I'm pretty sure you do not have pure piranha. Pasture of dreams instead of field of dreams. Star Driver grew up on a hog farm in Iowa, had up to 1,500 head of hog on the farm at a time. Baby pigs are so funny and cute. And then they become bacon. That's why I can't do it. The bacon is tasty, but that I would just remember this cute little pig. I couldn't do it. I'd have the pig in bed with me at night going, don't let daddy take you. Herman says, my uncle took part in the rescuing of death camp survivors in World War II. Despite being a tank commander in the Battle of the Bulge, seeing those death camp survivors haunted him for the rest of his life. It's interesting because you would think something like that, knowing that you freed them, would, I think would be like, wow, I did something good. Like, look what I did with my life. The service thing was totally worth being able to do this. But I don't know. I guess not. Sad. Let's see. Scott says, back in my ROTC days, we idolized Vietnam vets, had a lot of respect and admiration for them and their cadence songs, for instance. There you go. Did you ever notice how nobody ever pulls out of a college with glee from the government? I think he means for the government. You don't pull out with glee. Let's see. Have you ever worked with Zachary Bell, veteran with a sign? I don't know that one.
I don't either. I'll have to look that up. That was Zachary Bell.
Have you ever seen a movie called Boys and Company C?
No. I have.
You had, okay. Well, Mangle says my brother in Florida had a python creeping up on his chicken, so it could be worse.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I don't live anywhere where there's things like that without legs and they move. Thank you. No. Nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
God
Everything
condemned you to that.
Yeah.
I bet you have them there though in North Carolina. Not pythons.
I don't think so.
No.
No. I mean, we do have alligators. Not many of them, but I've seen a few. But no python.
I try not to live somewhere where there's stuff that wants to kill me. Like I'm at the Jersey Shore. Other than New Yorkers, really, there's nothing really here that's going to try to kill me other than a New Yorker. So I think, and we had a tornado warning last night. I don't know if anybody else lives in Jersey got that last night. Scared the Jesus out of me when that EMS thing went off. I was like, what the holy hell? So I jump up. Hubby had the earplugs in, so he's like he's ready to go get the shotgun. He's like, what? And I'm like, no, it's a tornado warning. And there was one on the ground by Fort Dix, by Earl, whatever, by Lakeland, by the Air Force Base, the Air Force Base at Fort Dix. Okay. And it's on the ground with rotation. And I'm like, in Jersey, what the hell? And what, Doug? He's yelling at me. I can't hear him. But anyway, it was on the ground. And so the two of us, he's on the National Weather Service, and we're like, oh yeah, it's coming right towards our area. Oh, all right. And I'm like, well, what do we do? He's like, and then the winds picked up. It's like really super windy. And I'm like, maybe we should get the cat and go in the basement. Maybe. I don't know. I know what to do in a hurricane. I can do a blizzard. We did earthquake not that long ago. We had a pretty good earthquake here not that long ago. I'm like, tornado's totally new to me, although I did live in Texas for a little bit. But then it all dissipated and broke up, so it was all fine. But scared the bejesus out of me. So that's pretty much all that can kill me here is the weather. And you usually get enough warning that if you can beat feet and be out and everything. Let's see. In private, do you call Newsmax 2 the deuce? No, we do not. Cindy says, I lost 4 of my hens in the middle of the day in my backyard to a huge female bobcat. Mine free range, but I limit their time during February and March when the foxes are trying to feed their babies. Yeah. Well, it is the circle of life. Mm-hmm. Ron says, this is so distracting. Dave, you look like someone I'd love to ski with. Ron skied with Olympians. Like Ron is like and he worked at Bell Labs, so he's like crazy smart engineering type guy. He says, you have that look. You do. You have like the surfer look or the skier look. You absolutely do.
Probably wouldn't be able to keep up, but I'd try.
Let's see. Herman Sal says, what makes organic food organic? I never saw any internal organs in that food. Just joking. But he wants to know, what makes it organic?
Yeah. Just all natural, I guess. That's kind of the best way I can explain it. Not using any additives or anything sort of man-made chemicals, just pure organic food. And that's about it.
All right. Linnea, they buy chickens for the freezer from a local farm. Yep. Well, when I was a kid, that's what my mother did. My mother would go to the farm and we would get it. It would all come wrapped up in the white butcher wrap. And it'd be chickens and this and that and half a cow and pigs and all that stuff. I never bought meat from the grocery store. I had no idea how to buy meat from a grocery store. No clue at all. Yeah. So Sal says, this is incredibly interesting. Thank you. It's because he's an incredibly interesting guest. Let's see. Oh, the show cannot end until you know who says hello. Are you listening? Your boyfriend wants to talk to you. All right. But he's coming. Hear me. Bunny Hugger shouldn't worry about the guy's tree. It's his property. Goat cheese. See, you should get into goat cheese. I love goat cheese. That stuff.
I'm a big fan as well. But then you actually have to milk the goats, and it's something you have to do every single day, like regardless. Like you can't skip a day.
Yeah. Yes, and you can say hi to Dave too. Who do you want this? Or you can just say hi.
I can just say hi.
Hey,
hi, Dave.
No, Doug, how are you? Nice to see
Art,
you.
hi to Art, because Art will be very upset if I don't say hi to him too.
He looks exactly the same, except he doesn't have a baseball cap on.
Yeah. And hi, Heather.
That's right.
She's not there. She's not there. Yeah, I told the story. I don't know if you heard. I told the story about how we met in a hot tub, and it sounds like the beginning of a bad porno. Yeah. But
your hot tub friend.
Yes, our hot tub friend. With that case, the court order prevented him from ever cutting down the tree, whether there were birds there or not, because it was California. So you have to milk every day. So the answer to this is, do you sell raw milk? Obviously not.
So no, we don't. We have plenty of people around us who do, and we buy raw milk.
Okay.
Oh, that's a big thing.
Dave, you have to grow sweet corn if you can. We used to grow our own on our farm. Best corn is Jersey corn. Sorry. Sweetest, best corn you'll ever have, Jersey corn. And Jersey tomatoes, because they actually have flavor. So
we've grown corn. Yeah, plenty of times. Love it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's see. I've forgotten about fainting goats. Mango mush, just once in my life, I want to spook a fainting goat. I know. Let's see. I just bought the other day a cold ski. Everybody's talking about how they love goat cheese. I think you could be onto something here. Ranger Sewer wants to know, are the goats strong enough to eat my ex-wife's cooking? Art, I love animals. They're delicious. He had a conversation when Lieutenant Colonel Alan West was on a couple of weeks ago about barbecue, because they're both in Texas and they're big in that. Linnea's dad was in the Battle of the Bulge too. Wow. With Ranger Sewer's uncles. I'd shoot the gators. You could eat them, right?
Yeah, you can. Make some nice boots as well.
Let's see. That was Hermit Salrad, the boots. Well, you would probably do that because you would just skin it. It's nothing to you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Basement for a tornado, southwest corner, get under a table or bench. Well, it was coming from the west, so I don't know if the southwest corner, whatever. Like, I'm going to worry about that at the time. I can't. Scott, Stapp, and Dave have never been seen in the same room at the same time. Fact check true. I got to look it up. Do you know who that is? Scott Stapp? Okay, hold on.
I do not.
Oh, he is the lead vocalist of Creed.
Okay. Huh.
I can see it. I can kind of see it. He's an older version of you, but his hair is darker. Oh, you're better looking than him. No, I'm sorry. You're better looking. No, sorry. Don't mean to make you blush, but it's true. All right. We're wrapping up here, guys. All right. So we're done. If you have any questions, get it in here. Have you ever considered beekeeping?
Yes, absolutely. The only reason I haven't is because we have neighbors who beekeep and they give us honey. So we are set there, but I'd love to. We have bears though. We have a lot of black bear, and that's going to be difficult. I'd have to get some sort of electric netting, fencing around it, but definitely something I want to do in the future.
Yes. There you go. Yeah, go keep it. We have a friend who does go, and I planted a bee garden. Well, I had the guys plant a bee garden. I didn't plant it, but I had them plant it, and I picked out the plants, and they arranged it beautifully. It looks very nice. But I like that just for the bees, because like they're dying out. You got to keep the bees going. Yeah, and I planted lavender for them. I got the lavender. Does Oliver like goat cheese? No, it depends. What day is it? Oliver's insanely picky. Oliver's our cat. He's okay. Yes. Cindy said I would be your people for free. Oh, thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. All right. We're getting out of here, guys. No offense to anybody. Mango Mush, I will see you Thursday and Friday on 1210 WPHT from 3 to 6. All right, everybody out. And if you want to join me, anybody can join in. Just look for WPHT. You can listen on the Odyssey app. And then on Thursdays, 9 a.m. to noon on the David Webb Show on Sirius Patriot Channel 125. If there's anything else thrown in there, if there's any TV thrown in there or anything like that, I will post it on my X and Facebook and Getter and Truth Social and LinkedIn and everywhere else that I have the 10,000 places that I have to post, which is why I do not have Instagram, but I'm working on it. So thank you so much. Yeah, this was so interesting. Don't forget to follow them on YouTube. Look for Wild Hearts Farm. I'm going to be saying this in my sleep tonight. And then on Instagram is wild_hearts_farm. And that other one was the one with the guy in the suits who gets beaten up by goats all the time is Anthony Brock. Facebook. I will tell you, I think he's military or former military, because he's always in like a tight green military shirt and he's got a lot of military clothing and he's buff, like he's built, because he gets beaten up by goats all the time. Yeah. So that may be that. So, all right. Well, we really look forward to you coming back. All right. And we'll have the lovely Heather with us. All right.
She would love that. Definitely.
And thank you so much for joining us, and have a great night. Go run around somewhere. Go do something.
All right. Thank you very much, Mary.
All right. Take care. Bye. Bye. All right, everybody. Have a good one. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless, and have a great rest of your week. Appreciate you being here. we go. Bye.